Now on ITV, it's the news.
Hello, I'm Charlene White. Campaigners held a mock funeral in central London today in protest at the number of cyclist and pedestrian deaths in the capital. Protesters from the Stop the Killing group are calling for more investments into road safety. So Toby Sadler reports.
This was a funeral to remember all the cyclists who died on London's roads. Hundreds walked behind the horse-drawn hearse as it made its way along Oxford Street. 10 cyclists have already been killed this year. The latest last month at Ludgate Circus. 14 died last year, which included one of the worst periods for cyclist deaths in recent history. It's exactly a year since London cyclists were reeling from the news that 6 of their number had died in just a 2-week period on the capital's roads. Many of those here today think that 12 months on, not enough has been done to improve cycle safety in London. Bart Chan was knocked off his bike by an HGV in May. He spent a month in hospital and was off work for 5 more. He's adamant there have to be some major changes.
It seems quite ludicrous that we have these massive lorries, HGVs with huge blind spots still travelling around built-up areas. So I don't think there are any excuses to hide behind. We need drastic change, and to make London an example for really good infrastructure, good cycling like other cities in the world.
But campaigners say this isn't just about cars and lorries versus cyclists. They claim if the roads were made safer, it's not just lives lost in collisions that will be saved.
It's 100 times more dangerous not to cycle in London because the impacts of not exercising are so enormous. Diabetes, heart disease, lung diseases, cancers, depression even.
The protest finished with a so-called mass die-in at Marble Arch. Hundreds of protesters playing dead, hoping to hit their message home. In response, Transport for London says it is taking road safety very seriously, with a target to reduce deaths and injuries by 40% by 2020. Toby Sadler, ITV News.
A woman has died following a house fire in South Norwood last night. Firefighters were called to the house in Waverley Road just before 8 o'clock. The cause of the fire is under investigation. A driver who left a woman lying injured at the side of the road has been sentenced to 2 years and 8 months in prison. Lee Smith, who's from Archway, was driving a black Ford Focus when police tried to stop him in September. During the police chase, Smith hit a woman on Shepherd's Hill but carried on driving, leaving her with serious injuries. The judge described his actions as inexplicable and inexcusable, leaving the blameless victim at the roadside like a rag doll. Tennis fans attending the ATP World Tour finals have had their sandwiches and snacks confiscated because the UK's raised a terror threat level. Organisers at the O2 Arena have said the move is one of a number of additional security measures this year and that fans were told beforehand. But many ticket holders were still left disappointed when their food and drink were taken off them at the door. In a statement, the O2 has said it is far easier, fairer and quicker for all guests to have a blanket no food and drink policy than get into specifics which would be unmanageable and cause unnecessary delays. Next, an update on a story we brought to you yesterday about Boris Johnson's review of plans to let Chinese firm APP develop a business district at the Royal Albert Dock. The Mayor's investment agency London and Partners has denied suggestions it may have given APB favourable treatment. In a statement, London and Partners say London and Partners was not a part of the decision-making process nor sought to influence which company would be awarded the contract for the Royal Albert Dock. The M25 has reopened after a 1-foot-deep pothole caused 3 lanes to be closed for most of yesterday. A 16-foot-long pothole opened up at junction 9 after concrete repairs being carried out overnight failed to set. The closures caused tailbacks and long delays, with some travellers missing flights at nearby Gatwick Airport. OK, let's take a look at the weather now. Here's James Wright.
ITV London Weekend Weather, sponsored by Hive Active Heating. If only there were a surprise early meeting, so you're working late tonight forecast.
Hello again. It's going to be rather changeable over the next few days, generally mild, but do expect some of the wet stuff from time to time. The next band of rain expected during the latter part of Sunday evening and overnight into Monday. Once that clears, some nice bright spells in between, but another band of rain pushing across the country on Wednesday. Hopefully by the time it gets to us, there'll be very little rain left on it. Now, as far as tonight goes, a mixed bag of cloud and clear spells. Risk of seeing a little bit of mist and fog developing, particularly away from the capital centre. Temperature-wise, we're looking at 8 or 9 Celsius, making it feel cool rather than cold. As far as tomorrow morning goes, that mist and fog lifting into low clouds, so a bit of a dreary start to the day, but hopefully as we get into the afternoon we'll see 1 or 2 bright spells develop. We might see 1 or 2 showers just skirting to the south of London. Temperature wise, we're looking at 12 or 13, which all in all isn't too bad for the time of year in spite of a northeasterly breeze. Like I say, rain around Sunday night into Monday, wet start Monday before things brighten up. Tuesday not looking too bad either. Wednesday a bright start before cloud and rain later on in the day. Have yourself a good evening and I'll see you later.
Are you ready for the unpredictable?
And finally, some of music's biggest stars descended on a studio in Notting Hill today to record a reworked version of Band Aid's Do They Know It's Christmas, 30 years after the original was released. One Direction, Ellie Goulding and Bono were among the musicians lending their voices to the new recording, which is raising money for the fight against Ebola. Now, that's all for the London team for now, but don't forget, you can look up what's been happening in the capital on our website, the usual address, itv.com/London. We'll be back tomorrow evening just after 6:30, but until then, enjoy your evening. Goodbye.